Alright, this is a really exciting screencast that I'm doing right now. This is on our summer workshop here at District 113 on mobile classrooms. It's essentially taking what you do in your classroom and mobilizing it. We'll be using some different technological tools. We'll be able to go through how you can take videos from your phones or an iPad and make those videos then, how we can upload them to YouTube. We're going to be able to do some screencasting. We'll be talking about document cameras. But I think at the end of the day, it's important that you make sure you have a focus and an understanding as to what is it you're trying to do and how is it going to best help or influence your learning environment. Here's kind of a picture I took of Bloom's taxonomy. And I want to make sure we realize that I want you working in these upper levels of the taxonomy itself within the pyramid. I want you thinking about the analyzing, the evaluating, and the creating. I think these are so often where we hope to get our students, but I think sometimes we don't necessarily always give them direction as to how to get to this point. So my goal and my purpose for this workshop is to get the participants in this workshop moving into the analyzing, evaluating, and creation aspect of this taxonomy, the higher level thinking. So let's get into the basics. What is a mobile classroom? So if you Google this term, mobile classroom, it comes up with a picture of a portable classroom. I have to laugh though. I had classes occasionally in this type of building in middle school and high school. My teachers lectured the entire class period. If I missed class for whatever reason, that information was gone, except for what I could get from another student's notebook, if the kid took notes. The world has changed since then, and so has the concept of a mobile classroom. A mobile classroom is a means in which you provide your students access to your instruction by you and in your own voice. It supplements what you do in class and has tremendous utility. It can be very versatile for you and your students. By mobilizing your instruction and content, you can reach students anywhere from their chosen device. Students can have access to your information from class when it meets or even when it does not meet, even outside of your classroom. I challenge the idea that we only teach in our classrooms. Learning is not limited to inside our walls of our classrooms, and geography should not be a limiting factor to student understanding. And therefore, mobile classrooms are going to be a way in which we kind of bridge the gap between our content and our instruction and getting it delivered to the students, wherever they are and however they choose. So some of the discussion questions that we'll be venturing into is, it's important that you determine what is it that you want to get out of this workshop. It can be the best workshop, it could be the worst workshop, but I think it's important that you make sure you sort out what is it you want to get out of this workshop. What is your takeaway? And number two, how do you envision your own mobile classroom? What does it look like? I think it's important that you have some form of a vision. The vision is going to help direct you, and the vision is going to change, I assure you, and I think that's a healthy way to think of it as an evolution. It's going to change and it's going to evolve as your ideas change. But I think it's important that you have a starting point. These questions will drive the process you go through that will lead you to an end product. What is most important is not that you end with a polished product. It is important that you understand the process with a clear teaching rationale as to what you can do and why you are doing it. I think it's important that we make sure we not get caught up in the final product, because your final product is going to change as well. And it's definitely not going to be polished. It's not going to be polished yet. You're going to get there, but it's just, it takes time. So a key question that you should be asking, well, how will I mobilize my classroom or my instruction? Well, you're going to be able to create instructional videos. And I don't really have a name for it. I don't even know how to call it. Instructional videos. It's what you are going to make of it, using different resources that you have access to regularly. You can take live video from your smartphone, or you can use an iPad, simply the videography piece. You can create your own content library using Screencast-O-Matic. This is my favorite. I use old PowerPoint slides that I've kind of modified into Google Slides, and I upload this as I would have delivered a lecture in class. I now use Screencast-O-Matic, so kids can access class content from anywhere, anytime. You can provide direct instruction with the document camera. We'll get into this one. This is a really simple, a very useful tool that we have in school. So we're talking about smartphones, iPads, we're talking about screencasting, and we're talking about document cameras. Now a lot of these, or all three of these, are going to be you driving or dictating what's taking place in the environment. But as important as any of the above, I think a key to what I want you thinking about is, can you get your students creating their own work? It's the difference between students just being consumers of what we're creating, right? The difference between a consumer versus a creator. The idea is kind of moving from us doing all the work to getting students becoming the creators. A very different type of concept that I want to continue to challenge you throughout this workshop. Okay, so once I have these videos, right, from using the phone, iPad, Screencast, or document camera, what am I going to do with them? So where will you place your videos for your students? Well, I recommend any one or more of the following. Google Plus, right? This is the community page. This is what I use. This is my preference, but I will show you a couple different ways. You can use a Google site. I could teach you and show you how to use these. You're simply going to be taking your videos and linking them on here. You can use a Google Classroom. This has some really unique features. And I want to make sure you have a chance to at least test them and get a taste of them, just to see that they each offer a little something different. But we'll hit on more of these later. But to think of it as your videos are going to go somewhere, and these are the places that I would recommend. They're all Google friendly. These are all going to be very easily accessible through your drive that you already have. So there's a couple ways. Now we're going to kind of get into this a little deeper. There's a few different ways in which you can use these videos. You can use them as teaching tools, where the teacher generates the video, where you are videoing. These are yours. So instruction, the instructor creates the videos. You can flip a lesson, you can flip an activity. This allows students to view your content from anywhere at any time, right? When I say the word flip, it's simply mobilizing your content. You can catch students doing well. You can video and record. Maybe they're doing an activity. Maybe they're having something that they're speaking upon. Whatever it is, I don't want to limit it by my feeble mind. But you simply catch them in the act, in discussion, speaking, in the lab, working together. Whatever it is, you're catching them. Maybe this is on your iPhone, your smartphone, or your iPad. But I think that's something that would be also worthy of your time, is to use video work as an evaluation tool where students generate the videos. So that means that once you learn this, you're going to be able to teach it. Where students create the videos, they get to showcase what they know, could be content, could be your targets, and what they can do, the skills. And then the teacher evaluates the work done as a formative assessment. So there's a couple ways in which we can do it. The smartphone, this is where the teacher creates the video, catch students in the act of doing something well, show the video to students, provide feedback, critique their work, evaluate, and communicate with many in the process. Right? You can have more than one student being evaluated. Screencast or document camera. The teacher creates the video once again. So the first two are kind of in your hands. Right? You create a video of yourself and you providing instruction. Give specific details. Don't be afraid to dig deep into your lesson or your activity. Students will be able to go back and watch the video many times. So I always say challenge them, push them. This is where you give them the opportunity to go back and kind of revisit it multiple times. But numbers 3 and 4 I think are key. Once you start getting students creating the videos, they become very powerful tools. Students create the video. Allow for students to showcase their knowledge, their content, their speaking, and their skills. When you get your students creating videos, you will be in a great place to see what they can do and also what they know. When students are creating the videos, you get to use the information as a formative assessment. And I always feel like this is a way in which you can give some really genuine feedback to students and hold them accountable for what they say and what they're doing. That the student-generated videos, we get a chance to hold them accountable, and we can really give them some authentic feedback that I think is really powerful in terms of learning what we're trying to teach them. And it comes in many different forms. Now, here's a set of discussion questions. I think it's important that we have some time to kind of slow down and reflect and just kind of get a really strong grasp on where we are now before we move forward. So here's a video. You can Google it as Where Good Ideas Come From. The actual full TED Talk from Stephen Johnson is this link here. But I think it's important that it gains perspective, and I like this video a lot because it allows the teacher, the observer, to realize we control the environment, the setting in which learning takes place. Stephen Johnson talks about the space in which learning and ideas are swapping, and I think that's important that we get to control that. We are paving the way for students to have really productive classrooms, class time. And outside of class, they can continue learning and going back over and refining what you've asked them to do in class. So this video, something that I always enjoy watching. Question here that I want you thinking about. What is your vision of what flipping is? I think it's important that we realize when we're mobilizing our classroom, everything isn't flipping. but it's a way in which we can use the term flipping kind of synonymous to it. So what are the pros and cons of flipping a classroom or a topic or a lesson? What are the limitations? What do you want to be able to do after learning this workshop or after doing this workshop, participating in it? And what type of learning space will you create for your audience? Is it going to be instructional? Is it going to be coaching? Is it simply just content? But any way you look at it, I think it's important you get the understanding of you're designing the learning space, and that's the key to it. Okay, moving on. You're going to be needing to set up your YouTube channel. You're going to need to go to Google Chrome as your browser. Be sure to log in using your district username and password. This will allow you to synchronize your video creations to your free online YouTube channel. Then you can go to YouTube. You can open up My Channel, right? That'll be in the top left-hand corner, right? This is the top left of your screen. It looks like the icon pictured right here. Then you'll click on the down arrow of the YouTube, right? Here's your down arrow. And click on My Channel. And get used to this process. This is where your video creations will go once you upload them to YouTube. So you'll get used to this. Using Screencast-O-Matic. This is screencasting. This is where you are going to find these dashed lines that are going to go around the screen, and you'll be talking around it. What's important is that you see that what I'm recording right now is using Screencast-O-Matic. So I use Google Slides. That's just what I prefer to use. So when screencasting, you can record your own voice while recording the video of what is inside the dashed or the dotted lines, and that's what this is here. And that's what I see around my margin of my screen that I have in front of me. And this is brilliant. You control what you say, how you say it, etc. The example above, well, the example over here to the right, an example of recording around a Google slide, like that, a PowerPoint. You get to control what you put within it. And this is the information that you are communicating with your audience. Watch me show you to those visual learners, and I'll show you how to do it. And I'll be able to show you how this all takes place. And I'll just show you how powerful this can be. And then you'll click Done, and you'll upload this to YouTube. This will take a few minutes to upload. You'll need the URL. That's what the link will be. And you'll want to put it where your students can view the video. And we'll do some practice with this. You'll get plenty of practice in the workshop, and then you'll have some time to do your own development. So now you get some work time. And I think it's important that you realize that 20 minutes, I'm giving you 20, might even be closer to 30 minutes, and you're going to create a 3-minute video. But I want you to use something you already have for first quarter of next year. Don't invent something. Make this a useful trial or a practice run. Record your instructions similarly as you would in your own classroom, as if you are pretending that you are creating this ready to go for your first class or maybe your first week early on in quarter one of next academic year. And then you're going to upload the video to YouTube. You're going to post your video on the Google community page so we can all view and comment. And then you're going to comment and evaluate 2 to 3 other participant videos. And I want to remind you that I want you thinking about where we're at over here. We're analyzing, we're evaluating, and we're creating. These are really the upper echelon of Bloom's taxonomy here, this pyramid here. I want you really spending your time focused on the creation phase, the evaluating phase, and the analyzing phase. It's kind of where the key to growth is going to be learning these new technology tools. So we'll also have some time with the smartphone or iPad. You're going to record live. You're going to have 20 minutes to work, and I want you to keep in mind, I want you doing like a 2-minute video. Keep this simple, but push yourself so that you gain something from it. This doesn't have to be your final product. It is a step. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to show you how a radiometer works. So I'm going to do one with you and for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to record yourself, whether sharing something, using the whiteboard, or maybe you're going to do it over a piece of chop paper, but be creative. You're going to teach us something. The participants in the workshop are going to gain something from your little 2-minute creation. So once again, you don't have to teach us everything. Just teach us one thing and use our technology of videography work. And I want you using direct video work. Post your video on our community page, right? Oh, excuse me, you're going to upload it to YouTube. Be sure to name the video and be prepared to delete it because it's just a practice run. We're gaining background here. Post it to the community page, and you're going to comment on a couple more participant posts. And lastly, document cameras. You're going to make recordings with precision. I use the word precision because not that the other videos aren't precise, but this is one you're going to be fine-tuned. You're going to make sure you're using the document camera and really specify and really push your students. This is where you're going to be able to show students how to do something with direct instruction. And it can be a very powerful means of direct instruction here. So we'll make sure we have some chance to practice using document cameras as well.